Oh, hey folks, this is just going to be a short video and then I'm going to take you on to Paul's lamenting. That sounds like a real interesting thing to do with me, right? Well, what I'm going to do here is we are going right back across the way here to Memorial Hospital. And this was one of the big psych ops over here where last year they had to put this whole thing, it looked like gigantic igloos. I don't think it's over here anymore, but they had to do it for the scam. They had to do it. So I'll show you, I'll run it down to you again one more time here. If I can make it through this light, because the lights are horrible here. They turn constantly. Anyways, the only thing I liked about this place was the Joe DiMaggio Hospital. It looked like a home run fence in baseball for the kids that have cancer. Of course, they had to take that down too. So the kids couldn't even see something that looked like a baseball stadium. See, that used to be all painted in green. It used to be all painted in green. Okay, I don't know if the cop is still over there waiting to make sure that all of the dunce nurses especially and other medical facility people over there can get in without creating havoc and chaos and traffic accidents. But you see how that memorial right there? That used to be Joe DiMaggio, and that was all painted in green like a home run fence for the kids, you know? But then they didn't want to do that. They wanted to do something else. So I kind of never forgave them for that because it was nice for the kids who were sick to be able to see a baseball stadium. But they removed that. Okay, now we'll go back here and see if the cop is still there, because right now it's about 9:15 or so in the morning, and they may not be here, which means that probably within another 30 to 45 minutes there'll be an accident here. All right, so now let's see here. Okay, this is the place where they have all these accidents, you know what I mean? Right here. So okay, well, now it's cleared out and the rush is off. It's right here, actually. This is where they all pull in, right here. And people do various asinine things here to create the accidents, okay? So now what I will do is, instead of making a different video, what I'll do is I'll just take you into Lamenting with Paul. How's that? You know, as I live each one of my days here, in my allotted time in this life, I start thinking, I got plenty of things to think about, believe me when I tell you, okay? I got like plenty of things to worry about in my life. This is the first time I've ever done a camera angle. Isn't this cool? I got to start doing this more often, but like, I don't have the proper accoutrements to do this on a reliable scale. Anyways, I'll just lament with you here for a while because I've got to take a long ride here, and I'll lament with you for a while. As a matter of fact, I'm going the wrong way. Why I'm doing that, I don't know. In fact, fuck it. I'm not going to do it. So I'm just going to have to go through the motions here. And it just, I don't know why my brain is being like this. I don't know. The whole thing is puzzling to me because I just can't believe that my brethren here in the United States want to go along with this. And you know, it's the same theory, by the way, with this jab. It's the same theory as when dealers have a lot of cars left on their lot and they need to get rid of them. You know how they do it, don't you? They don't lower the price. A lot of you would say they lower the price. Not true. What they do is they put up these big advertisements on the radio and they're like, we're blowing out Hondas, 22 Hondas, $18,000 off RSBB. You know what I mean? That's how they do it, because the people are gullible enough to where if you put it out to them, somehow they think they're getting a deal when there's no deal at all. That's generally speaking what they do. And that's basically true. That's not a joke. All they have to do is put the advertising out there and it boosts sales a certain percentage. It's the same thing with jabulation, okay? You've got a lot of places right now that are running at 40% or less of jab completion. And if you think that these people are pillars or Oaks, you're wrong. Because once they put those newscasts on there with babies being transported 150 miles, all this nonsense, folks, you have to understand, that's all choreographed. They determine when to put it on, what story it's going to come after, what story it's going to come before. I mean, do you folks understand this? By the way, I had 2 of those smoked Applewood Speedway egg and cheese sandwiches this morning like I did yesterday. Oh my God, they were so good. I just inhaled them. They were so delicious. Why I say that, I don't know. This is part of the lamenting. I have to focus my attention on something fun. Anyways, getting back to this. So what you're going to see, you're going to see these rates go up shockingly, very quickly, because they're throwing more nonsense at the people. And are you surprised that Google has taken down the recovery number for scam cases? Are you surprised about that? How can you be surprised? Why should they give you a fair chance? If they show you the recovery numbers, isn't that kind of like a fair chance to see what's going on? They don't want you to have a fair chance. They don't want you to have any chance. They want you to have their information, and you know it. If you people were honest with yourself, you would know this. Now, I'll get into the whole point of my story today, okay? I have been lamenting all day yesterday, and I spoke to my wife a little bit about it today, but my wife is just basically there for the ride. She's not really. She's a little bit more than a dum-dum, you know. She's not on the top of the spear, but the tip of the spear, but she's all right, you know what I mean? It's just that she's not all right. She doesn't watch any of my videos. My son is, I'm sure, buying into all of this. I try to tell him I don't get 1 ounce or nothing of feedback, nothing. They don't care. They're just nothing. So let that be a lesson to you folks, that for you guys who think that you're going to go and marry a Filipino woman and that they're somehow going to be, you sacrifice the genes, dude. You understand? You sacrifice, because they are not like you and I. They are not. They gravitate toward imbecility. They gravitate toward what each other do. And, you know, like, that's why I tell you about my wife and my kid. But, you know, I'm not trying to put them down all the way. I'm not trying to do that. But I want you guys to realize, if you think you're going to go over there and you're scoring with girls that look like they might be fun to have sex with, that's going to be about the size of it, okay? Don't try to think that you're going to have sons that are going to be the captains of the football team. It just doesn't work like that, at least in great part, okay? Now, let's move on to my lamenting. And by the way, I've seen so many quality movies in my life that I always somehow am able to relate something back to a movie. And today, like about 20 minutes ago, I was thinking about it, and I know what it is because I had something to do on my mind today, and it's just too late for me to get started to do it. So I'll have to do it tomorrow. And it reminded me of Captain Archer, Lieutenant Archer. Lieutenant Archer was the second in command in the Boys of Company C, and he was right behind Captain Collins, and Captain Collins was a cocksucker. And the black guy there, Stan Shaw, the actor Stan Shaw, who played Washington, Tyrone Washington was his name. All of his teammates there in the Marines there called him Ty. But, you know, in that movie, I was thinking about a time there where the captain was going over a bridge, and the lieutenant told him, "Don't go over it. Let me clear it for you because this could be mined." And he said, "It's not mined. I'll go over there and I'll show you myself." And then he goes over and he runs across and he says, "There's nothing. See?" And then they wound up getting unloaded on as the troops started to bunch up on the bridge. And what happened was Pike, who was one of the privates there, and he was a good old boy, baseball player, and he said, he went into the village because they bombed it. They bombed the living shit out of it. Captain Collins said, call in an airstrike on that area over there. And, Jesus there, the guy that played Jesus, I forgot his name now, but he was a pacifist and wouldn't play by the rules. And he says, I'm sorry, I cannot kill somebody with a rifle, and I will not kill them with a radio. He says, what do you mean you won't kill them with a radio? He says, I won't do it with a gun or a radio. He goes, Bisbee, you get me I-Corps on the phone right now, or your ass is in Da Nang and in the brig. And he says, I'm sorry, sir, I must respect. And he goes, God damn you, give me the phone. I-Corps, I have a bombing mission for you. So he goes like that, and it's coordinates 5551, enemy target, enemy encampment. So then they bomb it, and Archer comes over. He goes, what the hell did you do? Captain, what the hell did you do? He goes, this man refused a direct order from me. He says, we've been attacked. That's the village right there that attacked us. It's obvious that's the village. So I call in air. He goes, Bisbee, get on the horn and delay that order. And he goes, wait a fucking minute. What the fuck do you think you are? He goes, you're losing your mind, man. And then you start seeing the planes dropping the bombs on there. And then, they show the guys walking over there, and the captain says, 2 days on China Beach for anyone that finds a tunnel. And, they go over there, and it's like there's some nurses some nuns, and, Vietnam was a mess, folks. It was a fucking mess, and it was a no-win situation. And by the way, they weren't always innocent, these people that were in those villages, but they had no choice, because Johnny ruled the day, which was the American GIs, and Charlie ruled the night, which meant that as soon as the Americans left, those peasants there in those villages, they did what they were told to do by the VC. It was very, very bad. Anyone that knows Vietnam understands what this is all about. So, as a result, they go in and they see a kid, and they're playing baseball. A couple of kids are playing baseball with a little makeshift bat and the ball. And of course, the American Pike and all the other guys they can't resist to start playing baseball with the kids, And then they had a helicopter fly in, and it was from S2, and that was like intelligence, and it was the Vietnamese army that was allied with the American forces, and they were there for information and intel. So they tortured the kid, and they killed him. And the kid's playing baseball, and Pike, of course, was a big baseball player in high school. He didn't like that at all. So the captain kind of told him, look, because he kept hearing screams as they were walking away. He goes, wait a minute, I hear screams. And then the captain took a bottle of pills like this, because that guy Pike had a bad shoulder. And he goes, look, Pike, take these right here. He goes, man, I don't want your medicine. He goes, well, you need it, Pike, because you're a junkie. And a junkie needs all the help he can get. He goes, I'll tell you how much I need you. And he reaches for his rifle to shoot the captain. That's what was happening there. And the gunny there hit him across the back of the head. So Bisbee wound up being taken in to custody for refusing to call enemy fire. And Pike winds up, sorry folks, I have to pretend like I'm wearing my safety belt here. This is a real typical place where you find these setups. And Pike got called on because he was going to show the captain that he wasn't going to do what he told him. He's not a junkie, because he got strung out on opioids. But anyways, it was that was another part of my makeup of my personality, probably 35%, probably the biggest part of more than Howard the Duck. And, in this part here, which I'm very slowly lamenting my way into to finish the story, Captain Archer is there. So Archer's there, and he meets with Tyrone, who's not in trouble, by the way. The black guy, the big black guy, he's not in trouble. Even though he tried to kill the captain, too. He tried to get artillery fire brought on the captain, too, but it didn't work. And Archer stopped him from doing that, and he said, it's all bullshit, man. If it's all bullshit, let's give these cocksuckers what they want. If they want bullshit, let's give them fucking bullshit. So Collins comes in, the captain, and Pike is sitting down, and Bisbee, Jesus Christ, there, the guy who looks like Jesus Christ, he was a peace freak, flower child, and they took him in and made him go in. That's what they did back then. But they realized that you can't have people like that in there because they'll endanger the whole squad by their morals, and their viewpoints. So, the captain comes over, and I guess they've been all through the mill and everything, and he goes, okay, well, you guys are lucky you're not going to the brig in Da Nang. He says, you'll be here, right over there, guarding the rice. And that's what they did. They put Pike and Bisbee over there to guard the rice paddies for the villages. And then the captain leaves, and Archer's there, and Tyrone, the black guy, says, well, at least he didn't put him in Da Nang, into the brig. And then Archer looks at him and raises his eyebrows and says, yeah, he says, and he's smoking a pipe, and he goes, Charlie minds those patties every other night. They'll be lucky to last a week. And, you got that feeling of what was going on, like you're privy to it. And that's kind of like the way I feel about it right now. You know what I mean? It's like, what it is, and it's being said. He didn't want to put him in the brig, so he's put him there in the rice paddies to get shot within a week and dead. So that's kind of the way I feel about things right now, folks. I keep thinking back on these movies that I've seen, and that wasn't even the original part of the movie. I think it was that part of the movie that I wanted to share with you. But it does kind of relate back to what we're going through right now. It is so treacherous what's happening right now. They're going to build with the scare tactics more and more, and it's going to become more and more toxic and incite. They're going to incite, and pretty soon you're going to have not only terror, but great anger at people who are not doing their part or doing as they're told. And when I did that video yesterday, a lot of people just tuned out that video. Not a lot of people. I don't have many people that watch this, but some people will just, if they see it, they'll tune out. They'll say, you don't know what you're talking about. Yes, I do. I'm sorry to tell you, and I'm apologizing to you. I'm sorry. I do know what I'm talking about. And yes, they are going to push it, and it's the only way. The only way you can get people to do what they're told to do is it will not work with the conventional carrot whip. It doesn't work like it works like that with dumb animals, like donkeys or horses or whatever. But it doesn't work with humans. Humans, you have to affect their sense of righteousness, which is what they're doing here. Oh, yes, now I know what I was going to say. I'm just looking to see if I have enough time to be able to tell you this. Yeah, I got enough time. I've been lamenting for 2 days. And the reason being is because the big boss, John, came in, Guinea, okay? Came in to patch things up between the woman boss that I had who came to rescue me when I stupidly locked myself up into a hallway that they had no business making that anyone should get caught in that closet. And if it was because my pass didn't work and it was a faulty pass situation, they need to address that before somebody gets killed, okay? And it could be in 100 doors over there. It could be in 1,000, who knows? It was a huge place. So something has to be done so people don't get trapped inside non-air conditioned parts of the building. Now, if I didn't have my walkie-talkie of my boss, I would have been in there banging on the door for God knows how long. And that kind of starts getting stressful and kind of makes you kind of desperate. Fortunately, I think there was a window on there, but it was a small one. I'm not even sure there was. In fact, I don't think there was. Because if there was, I could say, yeah, there's a Lamborghini over there. I don't think there was. It's a closed door with no window. That's right. Because I couldn't even tell them where I was. So, my problem with the woman, the heavyset woman there, was she kept saying on the radio, I kept hearing it in the background, about where's Waldo. And she's trying to make fun out of it, unfortunately. And I kind of understood that. I kind of understand that. She wants to make light of it. However, what I didn't like even more, and it separates the men from the boys. And by the way, I told this to the woman who wants to see everybody get jabbed, my customer, that she lives next to the mayor over there of Pembroke Pines, and she just doesn't want to hear back talk. She wants to see everybody do it. And, when you tell her you can't get everybody to do something, they're not all going to do it. Well, you're going to have to find a way to do it. You can't explain anything to them. They just have all the answers, and when they don't, they just John Wayne it, and they're right. They just don't understand. It's like Prohibition. This is how the people were in Prohibition in the 20s. They were right, they were on God's side, and you're going to stop drinking. And they couldn't fathom the idea of people going and bootlegging whiskey, which was what was happening, and people were getting rich, filthy rich, overnight. They couldn't understand that, even though they were being told that and shown that. That's how we got the Chicagoland mobs that were taking over the police force through corruption. Yes! They had a song about it called The Night Chicago Died. The night Chicago died. And that's when the good police had to go and shut down the bad police. And there were a lot of death among the police forces, because that's what that ushered in. So, when I came back in, after I handed my pass to her, or whatever it was that she gave me, I walked over to the security office, I handed my thing, and I heard her talking to John, the big owner of the company, Guinea there, you should have known he wasn't right when you hired him. Okay, that's what I heard. Now, my hair wasn't shaved off like this. I just look like an average guy. I take offense to that. Now, like I told you, I was telling this story to my customer who wants everybody jabbed, and they're just going to have to do it. Yeah, but what if everybody doesn't want to do it? They're going to have to do it. Look, they're stupid. You can't explain anything to them. You understand? So, and I talked to my friend last night, my friend Ari. He said it wouldn't bother him unless it was about his mama or papa. And then that would really bother him. I said, well, evidently I'm not like you, Ari. I don't want to hear that I wasn't right, okay, when I was hired. That you should have known that. I wasn't right. That's, you know what I mean? That really stepping over the line. So the woman was compelled by Guinea there, who came up from Miami, which I give him credit for. That's why I'm not calling him a dumb Guinea, although I might. Because at least he came up and he told me he was siding with her. He says, look, I've known her for 16, 18 months. He says, I'm on her side. And I give him credit for that. He says, I'll have to, I believe what you're saying, but I gotta side with her. Well, go side with her. I know what I heard. I know she was talking to him. So he came in to put a Band-Aid over a gaping wound. And I don't even know why I went down there. He said, I want to meet you over there. I didn't even know why I went, because I really didn't want to go back there with that fat whore there. So I went. That's when I made my Miami Beach video 15 videos ago, where I said how beautiful Miami Beach was there. And I knew. I didn't know why I was going, because I didn't think, you can't unring a bell. The bell rings, you hear it. You can't unring it. So, sorry folks, I got somebody backing in here. I want to make sure that they don't hit me. All right, looks like they got enough room, I guess. So he came in, and I told you what the guy was like. He kind of surprised me because he wasn't an old doddering guy. Because, he had a New York accent, like real heavy accent. And so, it kind of doesn't do it for me, you know what I mean? So what happened was he came in and I was surprised. He was a pretty svelte looking guy, which I give him credit for. That shows discipline, because and he had a bum back. I mean, a real bum back, and he was mentioning it at the time. So with a bum back and being very svelte, it shows that you're watching what you eat and that you have a discipline. You're a disciplined man. That's why I didn't really call him Dumb Guinea, but I might change on this now, because he came up and he kind of put the Band-Aid over the gaping wound. Okay? And I felt so odd that I kind of agreed to come back. You know what I mean? And to a Dumb Guinea, he thinks that that's all perfect. And I knew it wasn't. And as that was on Thursday. So like by Saturday, I started getting worried because the time was approaching when I'll have to go in there. And let me tell you something about big condos with people with Rolls Royces and Lamborghinis. They don't fool about. You understand? If you blink when you're not supposed to blink, you're going to be on report. I ain't kidding you. I know about these places. I've got experience from the last 6 months now. They don't fuck around. They don't play around with you. And it's like somebody paying you 2 times the salary, and they just don't have any mercy. They want to see you suffer. So they don't want you on a golf cart. They want you walking on your feet to tire you out so you earn your money or cripple you, as you saw with my foot. So, which is getting a little bit better now. So I called yesterday. I called the big boss, John, and I said, look, my foot is swelling up, and I don't know if I should go to the hospital or not. Then the woman calls. The woman calls after I talked to John, because John probably sent it to her. She's her underling. She's his underling. And, then she calls me and starts saying, well, it's probably better that you go today if you're going to go to the hospital. And I said, well, I'm taking ibuprofen. I took like 6 of them. And then she scolded me and told me that was stupid. That it's going to ruin your liver and blah, 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 blah. But it's typical of her because that's her personality. I listened to her at one point when I was working there, and I heard her telling her story very eloquently about how she had her mother, or maybe it wasn't her mother or aunt, somebody related to her, and she said that she had Alzheimer's, and she said half the time she wanted to punch her in the face, and the other half of the time she wanted to give her a kiss. I mean, folks, so up till yesterday, I was going to go in there. But when I shaved my head, I kind of did that because I wanted to make sure that I did not go back in there today. Because I'd kind of I'd stopped lamenting, and I kind of made peace with myself, and I said, you have to do this. You can't go back in there. You can't go. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. The woman's feelings have not changed about you. She still thinks you're odd. By the way, when I went in there, when Dumb Guinea there came over, I went to shake his hand, and he was so taken back that, with the COVID-19, so he couldn't even shake hands. And it was a real embarrassing moment because you had all the staff there. So I can't tell you that he's a rocket scientist, so he may be a Dumb Guinea. You understand? So all these things started coming into play, and being 60 years old now, or just within a hair's breadth. Folks, I need a job. Desperately, particularly one that pays $14 an hour. But sometimes you have to stick to your guns. And this is a man that's in security. He's made his whole life with people that try to trick you to get into under fences, and they dig tunnels and this and that. And he hasn't picked up on the scam yet. Hasn't picked up on the scam. He's still afraid to shake hands with anyone. You understand what I'm saying? So he called me. I know it was the woman that called me this morning about a half hour ago, and I didn't answer the phone because I had a feeling it was her because it was 10 of 9. I was supposed to be in there at 9:15. And they gave me a shirt. They gave me one of these shirts. Of course, they didn't pay me for my 11 hours I worked the 4 days, the first day, and then the 2 hours I worked the second day. So, I waited and I didn't answer the phone. And then I recognized the phone of John, the dumb guinea there. And I answered. And this was only about 45 minutes ago. And he said, Paul, don't tell me you're not coming in. And I said, John, I'm glad you called me. I said, I am not. And John, I'm not coming in today. He goes, Paul, have a nice day. Okay. So quick, succinct, to the point. Now, don't expect that to be it. Expect that to be a guinea startup with, he's going to come over and sue me for the shirt. Okay? Which I've got here. Because I stupidly took the damn shirt home. Folks, we're in a new time. We're in a time now, like Richie from Boston said. Now, you won't know Richie from Boston from a hole in the wall anymore because his station's been off for over a year. But he had almost 500,000 subs. And he was a truther, and he, talked about this and that, but he was a big Jesus freak. And I think he was in a good way. Did some time in jail, came out and started a station or two, or whatever it was. Can't fault the man too much. But he warned us. The only thing he was off base on was he said the people aren't going to put up with it about getting jabbed and this, and they're going to have to send out the National Guard, and they'll admit it. Now they did send the National Guard out to the Washington D.C. airport so that they can assist in jabbing, but that's different than sending out the boys in green to hold people down. That's what Richie from Boston thought. And Richie from Boston knew that the television was doing what it needed to do. It was working its charms. Radio too, but most people take in visually. And he understood that. The television was completely robbing the people of their coherency. But he didn't realize how bad it was going to be. He didn't realize how bad it really was. The people did not need to have the boys in green go out and start showing their military presence. The mere taking of the police forces and driving their cars 100 at a time, flashing their lights at the local hospital was enough to motivate the mindless, sheep, idiot fuckheads. You understand? That was enough. And it was also enough to, just like when they need car sales and they boost the $18,000 off list, come in now. That same thing. Just boost the chaos level and you'll get your required results. Folks, I know that this was a mouthful. I'm really in a very odd state of mind today because there are things that I wanted to do that I've failed at doing today. But I already went out and I cut a $30 yard this morning at 10 minutes to 7 in the morning. And I went and I picked up the $30 that I made with my weed eater yesterday from a black woman that I've had forever, who's as dumb as a box of rocks, who I love. But she turned the tables on me 3 times ago because she said she was feeling terrible. And I said, well, you got that jab, didn't you? People are feeling terrible. And she's, oh, don't you believe that? They're trying to, that's well, they're using that to try to scare you. No, I'm not. That's not the reason I'm feeling terrible. That's only those Republicans that are telling you that. So she turned the tables on me. And I just had to say, yeah, it's probably psychosomatic. What can I do? So she's upset because I charged her $30. And by the way, I didn't want to get into it with the woman because she's a nice woman. She's nice. And it's in a place called Carver Ranches, which is all black. I mean, in fact, I saw a guy there yesterday. Somebody was murdered. I saw the yellow tape when I pulled in. And then I talked to her later. She said, yeah, we heard it on the news. Somebody got shot over there. That was happening a lot, but now there's more doctors and lawyers and stuff moving into those areas. They're building nicer houses and so forth. So it's not perfect, but it's getting better. And, I started talking to her about it. She said, yeah, she heard about it on the news. And it was the weirdest thing because her fence is down in the back and it goes to an empty lot into the next street. And a white guy walked through there and he was dressed in a chef's outfit. So he must have been coming home from work or something. It was a white guy. I never seen a white guy in there besides me. And strolled right across the yard over a little fence there that he could walk over, and off he went. And I told the woman, I said, you need to get that fence back up. That ain't good, So, she's been good to me. She, when I was at Charlotte's house, she gave me, chicken tenders and stuff to cook up and all that kind of stuff, She was nice to me. She's been good to me, And she was supportive of me. But, she's complaining now. She wants the grass lower. But we're having a really, really tough summer this year. And I'm working just with my weed eaters. And I can't make it any lower, And if she boogies, and she'll take Miss Carter with her too, And I love Mrs. Carter too. I love her. She's like a mother figure to me. You know what I mean? I love her. I love her to death. And she's a good woman, And I can't really do that one properly either with my weed eater, But I do the best I can. But then again, it's $30 and it's done. And you don't have to fool about with it. That's the good thing about me. So I wanted to tell her, but I won't. But I'll give you the skinny on it. When you're in Carver Ranches, there ain't going to be no Mexicans over there, okay? They're going to be black guys that are coming over. And black guys don't know how to say $30 anymore, okay? Matter of fact, black guys in the law business don't even know how to say $35. They don't know how to say that anymore. They don't know how to even say that. They might know how to say 40, but it's going to be 45. It's going to be $45, $50, maybe $50, and they're going to want to see that every 2 weeks. They don't give a shit whether you can afford it or not. That's how it works in the areas, and they get it. So I went over there, cut a few of her branches today while I picked up the money, but she could be on the way out because I can only do what I can do, and it takes me an hour and 30 minutes, and I look like the creature from the Green Lagoon, which was the other thing that played into this job, because if I had taken this job, it was 9 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon, for God's sakes. I can't do anything except for on the weekends. So that was the other reason I didn't do this, because how in the world am I supposed to do lawns if it rains and it starts getting busy? How am I going to carry on my business? What if it rains on Saturday and Sunday? You know what I mean? That was the other reason I didn't do it. So that's my life. That's my lamenting. And I just keep watching things wither away and our freedoms negotiated away. And they're not even negotiated. They're just taken without negotiation. Squish face governor of Florida won't do anything. Everybody's afraid. It's just like a self-feeding monster. Well, you have to install that because if the people die, well, guess what? Who says the people are going to die? Oh, well, guess what? On the news, they're dying. So, there you have it. Self-feeding. We'll never escape this, folks. Never. We will never escape this. This is what's on tap. Just like in Star Trek, when Kirk goes to Kang and said, that's the thing causing the hatred right there. That spinning orange thing. It's creating hatred. That's why when we try to finish you off, we can't. All of a sudden, their side starts to winning. And then when they win, and it looks like they're going to win, then our side starts winning. It's that orange, that red blob. It wants to create chaos. It feeds on it. That's the problem. We'll just go for an eternity fighting each other as something laughs. That's what I feel like here. It's like I keep drawing, comparisons back to things that I've watched. Take care, folks. Lamenting session over. Don't forget to turn on your TV and be scared. Be very, very scared and do everything they tell you to do. Twice.